Cult leaders, driven to manipulate, fueled by egomania, charismatic.
Sometimes he exuded all this love from his face.
But beneath the allure can lurk danger.
And he looked at me with shark eyes, just devoid of life.
How do cult leaders control the minds of others? And which of them is most evil?
Calling me everything from a government agent, a paid disinformation agent.
Somebody just made a hit video on me today, accusing me of being an exorcist or something.
Who did that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You should go look it up. Just type in Dutch Sense and refine it for today. It's great.
Dutch Sense.
He said a personal figure, by the way.
He said that you were. He said that you were an exorcist. Is that what he said?
It's a woman, and she accuses me of being complicit with John Hutchinson with satanic, and they put pictures of the Exorcist up next to my logo.
Oh.
What is megalomania? Megalomania is an unrealistic belief in one's superiority, grandiose abilities, and even omnipotence. It is characterized by a need for total power and control over others, and is marked by a lack of empathy for anything that is perceived as not feeding the self. Although megalomania is a term often ascribed to anyone who is power hungry, the clinical definition is that of a mental illness associated with narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissism is most simply defined as self-love. Though it is considered healthy to care about your own well-being and have a healthy self-esteem, when someone loves himself to the exclusion of all else and others become objectified to be used only to serve the self, this is no longer considered healthy or normal. There are different psychological theories about how and why NPD develops, most of which relate to the integration of different aspects of ego and self as a child, and the nature of the parental roles in that process. Regardless of theory, NPD is characterized by extremely low self-esteem, which is compensated for by delusions of grandeur and megalomania, and narcissistic neurosis. With the propensity to act only on behalf of oneself, the unbridled need to feed one's ego, and the objectification of others to serve the power-hungry needs of megalomania, it is easy to see how this can be a recipe for disaster, especially when wrapped in a charismatic personality. The principles of characteristics of NPD and megalomania can also be expressed in lesser degrees or in a different fashion by those we might consider more mainstream than genocidal maniacs and serial killers. Among dictators, fundamentalists, and politicians, we find those who view themselves as morally superior, with the willingness to sacrifice, kill, or risk the safety of others considered inferior in order to assert their own agendas. Though there are legitimate circumstances in which leaders must exercise civil or military force, or religious zealots can profess solemn beliefs, the line between religiosity and fanaticism, between duty and megalomania, can be a gray one. This is how the term has become part of our culture's vernacular. Megalomania is also sometimes associated with bipolar disorder, a depressive illness that is characterized by mood swings from extreme lows to extreme highs. During the latter cycle, people often suffer delusions of grandeur and feelings of infinite capability. They talk about unrealistic plans and goals, as if these plans and goals are within their grasp. Schizophrenia, a mental illness characterized by delusions, hallucinations, and extreme paranoia, is also found alongside megalomania. NPD, megalomania, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia can all be treated with medications. If you or someone you know is experiencing manic moods, unrealistic delusions, or antisocial behavior, professional treatment is necessary. Unlike a virus or cold, these disorders will not improve without treatment. Now, actually, on another site that I read, it did state that most people who suffer from NPD or megalomania refuse treatment because they are so afraid of realizing for themselves that they do have a problem. They deny the fact that there is a problem.
The box.
But not far off the box.
There's a huge box. I remember when I got to Lucasville and I was in maximum security penitentiary and I was talking to one of the COs and he says, "What's it like to be brainwashed?" And I said, "Far more confining than this place." And I meant it. When you can't think outside that box, that's captivity.
That's a little better, isn't it? Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
What?
I didn't realize deprogramming was this brutal. I remember watching westerns when I was a kid. The cowboys would go on a cattle drive. The cattle would always get caught in a flash flood and be too stupid to swim for it, so they just stood there and drowned. That's what the Jolam remind me of. Cattle. You have to hit them over the head with a sledgehammer to get their attention. Just when they're reeling, you hit them with a little sweet talk to really confuse them.
Listen to the sound of a drum calling, pay